Hey, Casey.
Hey Grady, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. How about you?
Good. I am good. I'm gonna make you a co-host, just so
Okay.
you are able to promote people to panelists also, in case I miss someone.
Perfect. I know our partner will have several different people joining in, and so that is helpful because they'll kind of let me know who from their team they'd like us to add in. Yeah. You feel good about your opening intro?
Yes, I'm good.
Yeah, nothing you haven't done before. You did anything fun this weekend?
Um, I'm not sure yet. Not-
Okay.
all right. I see some people in the participant list.
Oh,
Um,
good. We got some folks joining early.
that might be,
I think some of these are, so I'll start promoting people who I know.
thank you.
I got you.
Hello.
Hey, Heather. And um, let's see. Heather, I have invited Justin to be a
Mhm.
panelist. And then I see Eli and Bertha, both of them.
I think maybe just let's wait till Justin. I know Eli definitely. A Benjamin shot at some point. He should be coming, but I don't know the student names, so they'll help us out.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Hi, Eli.
Hello.
And hi, Justin. And Justin, Eli, just want to check, is Bertha Cordy, is she from LaGuardia? No? One of the interpreters. There we go. Okay.
Okay, well, Bertha, if you can hear me, I'm going to promote you to a panelist. And then once we get started, I'll go ahead and read our interpretation script to let everyone know that there are interpretation services for this. And then I'll add you to like the breakout room where you can begin.
Sorry to interrupt, but I was rejoining. Hi, everyone. First of all, but I was rejoining, so I wasn't able. I just heard hi, Bertha, and then I didn't hear anything.
You're fine. Well, hello. I'm glad you're back. I was just gonna let you know that before we begin, I'll just give our interpretation spiel saying that we are providing services and how to do so. And then if you can just repeat it back, and then I will put you into your little breakout rooms for interpretation.
Okay, no problem. I can definitely do that.
All right. Do you know if someone else will be joining you?
Yes,
You know,
her name's Luce.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so let me go ahead and change my name so it'll be easier too.
And I'll just put out there for everybody, as we have folks start to enter into the attendee side, they are able to see and hear us. So currently, I don't think there's anybody else there, but just a heads up. Heather, I believe that you said Benjamin is part of your group.
Yeah, Benjamin Schott.
Yes. Add him as a panelist now. And Heather, is Luz Vargas a part of your team?
I don't believe so.
I think that might be our second interpreter. I also want to just add that I'm speaking with one of our interpreters right now, Bertha, and I'm not sure, I haven't attended one of these, but was a small request that when we are like switching between different segments of this with different speakers, if we could just take an extra second, just 2 seconds while we're switching between speakers for them to keep up with translation, if that doesn't hinder too much.
Yes, that should not be a problem.
Mhm.
And are you checking in with Luz, Casey?
Yes.
Okay. And I would say let's give everyone a couple more minutes. I know a lot of people like to wait right until
Thank
noon.
you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I was having so much trouble. Are we going to be on separate like channels for simultaneous or not?
Um, Can you repeat the question?
Okay, can you guys hear me clear or not?
Yes.
Okay, usually when we do simultaneous interpretation, we are like linked to another separate room. You guys will be talking and we will be there. Are we going to be doing that today?
Yes, Bertha is also here, another interpreter,
Yes.
and she is going to help me at the very beginning. I'm going to say an announcement that we are able to have this in Spanish also and explain how people can access that. And then as soon as she translates that for me, I'm going to send you guys into your breakout room to do that.
So question, I entered as a panelist. Is that okay? Or do I need to enter as an attendee?
A panelist is fine. Because then I'm going to make you both interpreters and then you'll be able to go
Wonderful.
into, yeah, should be good.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, and I see we're starting to get a few people added in on the attendee list. So Casey, I will defer to you if you want to wait a couple more minutes or if you want to get rolling. And then of course, as everyone knows, we are recording this and it will be made available afterwards as well.
Yes, I will get started in about 10 seconds. All right, well, let's get started. It's 12:02. Welcome everyone. So I am just going to first share with our Spanish speaking community that interpretation services are being provided in Zoom for this meeting via a separate audio stream. For those who are entering via a computer, you can use the round circle or world icon to choose the language, EN for English and ES for Spanish. If you are accessing this meeting via a mobile phone, please click your meeting options and select Spanish.
Hola, quiero darle la bienvenida a todos y les quiero informar a la comunidad hispanohablante que para acceder a los servicios de interpretación deben elegir el idioma al momento de ingresar a la reunión. Para aquellos que estén ingresando vía computadora, móvil, les recomiendo que utilicen el círculo redondo, o sea, el mundo que aparece y pueden elegir su idioma, ya sea inglés o español.
All right, thank you. And I am sending you all over. So now the interpretation is available for those who need it. And we can get moving. So I haven't said this yet, but my name is Casey Natal. I am the outreach specialist here at RPS. I do a lot of our social media and graphic design and things like that. So I love arts. So I'm excited to be here today. As you all know, we are finally building a new George Wythe High School, and we want to make sure that the people most impacted by the building of this new high school have their voices heard. So our first phase of this is a feedback process to determine a possible theme for the school, which is between arts and STEM. And so today we're going to hear from experts in the area of arts and imagine together what a school with this theme could look like. I'm going to check one more time in our attendees to see if we have any school board members. I think we are good. I also want to mention I will be helping handle some of the question and answer parts of the webinar. So we might go over this later, but feel free to add your questions into the Q&A feature at the bottom. I'm going to turn it over now to our partnership coordinator, Grady Hart, to do a reflection activity and introduce our awesome partners for today's session. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Casey. I appreciate it. I am so excited to be here with everyone today. Thank you all so much for joining for our next community engagement session around the new George Wythe High School. And so as Casey alluded to, this is part of a phased approach to make sure that we are hearing loud and clear from our community and from those who will be most impacted by a new George Wythe High School to be the ones who are driving what that school should look like. And so in this first phase, as a part of our Passion for Learning initiative, as we work towards having a system where every RPS high school is a themed academy, George Wythe is next up on that list, and we are asking for the community to decide whether we would like it to be a STEM high school or an arts high school. And it's possible that there could be some combination thereof as well. And so once we determine that primary theme for the high school, that is going to allow us to better provide and take on feedback on the school's construction and implementation. So those phases of community engagement will come after. Now, I do want to note that whether the community decides on a STEM or an arts theme, all students would still participate in all normal classes. So for instance, students would still take English, math, social studies, all of the normal coursework, in addition to classes that are more focused on hands-on dives into STEM or the arts. Now, a couple of quick housekeeping items. So as we go through this, we would love to have your participation, questions, ideas in the chat, and would love to be able to hear directly from you. So please use the question and answer function. And if you have comments or are answering questions that we may pose, then you can use the chat function. And both of those can be accessed at the bottom panel of your Zoom menu. Now, before we move forward here, I believe that we have a school board member who is now with us. And so we are going to add Ms. Jones as a panelist and give her an opportunity to address everyone. So let's give it one moment while she joins. Mrs. Jones, are you with us? If you would like to say a few words and just help kick us off for today's session.
Hi, Grady. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's George Wythe Reimagined. I'm excited to be here as a fellow New Yorker. When I saw you all were touring LaGuardia, I'm like, oh, now this is the possibilities are endless. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I hope there are lots of families and students on here because just being able to dream, this is reimagining. I love it. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Jones. We appreciate you being here as well, and echo that. You know, we're very excited to have folks here in attendance who can help contribute to really knowing what the next George Wythe is going to look like. And so, as Ms. Jones mentioned, we are going to be focusing on the arts pathway for today's session. And so an arts themed high school would focus on integrating some combination of the visual arts, theater arts, and fine arts, such as dancing, singing, all sorts of interesting stuff right into the school. And so as we get rolling here, I want to start with a couple of minutes of just personal reflection for each of us who are here today to just stop and kind of think for a moment about what this new school could look like and what we want it to look like if we select an arts theme. And so just think about what excites you most about the idea of an arts themed high school. And what are the other things that you would like to see in an art school? And so I am going to drop a link in the chat, and then I will also share my screen in case anybody's unable to get to it. But I've just dropped a link in the chat to our course catalog. This is a draft. It's just a version that could be of what an art school could look like and what some of the courses available would be. So If you want to take a look at the link in that chat, start on page 2 for the arts. And from this point, we're going to take just a couple of minutes to just think about, again, what excites you about this pathway, what might be missing, what are the courses in that catalog that you find interesting. And as you think about those courses in the catalog that you find interesting, feel free to throw those into the chat so that we can all have a little bit of a conversation about it. And Casey, I will ask you to just keep an eye on the chat for us. And as folks throw ideas out there and everyone feel free to participate, just let us know what is interesting to you about an arts academy. And we would love to hear from some folks. Feel free to throw in the chat. Which of these courses or multiple courses really jump out to you? What do you see here that excites you? And what's missing? What would you like to see? Okay. I'm going to give folks just a few more seconds. So as you have these things, feel free to jot down any notes and just keep track of what about an art school excites you. All right. Now let's move from personal reflection towards getting into the really exciting part where we get to hear from our amazing community partner with the New York City, the LaGuardia School of the Arts. And so today we are joined by LaGuardia School of the Arts. And again, while George Wythe is a unique school here in Richmond and will ultimately follow its own path as our community here decides, we hope that being able to hear directly from a renowned art school will give an idea of what a school with this theme could look like. And so with that, I'm going to hand things off to Heather and ask you to play maestro for your team. And we will come back with Q&As towards the end, but please, everyone, feel free to drop questions as you have them in the Q&A. We will be keeping track of those and triaging them. So please do feel free to drop any questions that you have in that Q&A box anytime. All right. Thank you, Heather.
Great. Thanks, Grady. Thanks so much for having us. We've put together some really great presentations from our students. They're going to talk a little bit about what it's like to be an arts student in an arts high school. So first, we're going to hear from our drama and technical theater studios. We have Justin Mackey and Eli Schreiner joining us with their students. And then after that, we're going to hear from our music studio, and we have Benjamin Schott joining us with his students. So I guess I will pass it off to Justin.
Thank you, Heather. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to introduce for drama, Amanda Reynolds, and for tech theater, Jia Ying. Take it over, Stefano.
Hi. So first we're gonna show you guys a video of both the tech and drama department, and we'll explain to you a few aspects of each and our personal experiences and everything. So yeah, let's start sharing the screen. Okay, you guys can see it? Good, okay, cool. There's our pretty thing. Here we go.
Basically, whenever anybody asks me what a tech major is, I will just tell them we do everything behind the scenes. Anything you can think of on a set in general, that's what we do.
Without tech, there's no lights, there's no set, there's no costumes, props, sound.
Yeah, we are behind the scenes for pretty much everything.
One thing I'm gonna take out of tech this year is sort of just how to be a good leader and teacher.
So start by talk me through it. Don't show me. Talk me through it.
There's a lot of responsibility to sort of pass down knowledge.
Open it, reopen it, move back, crip it again, and then line up the last edge and crip it.
Great.
I'm also going to use a lot of just like the life skills that tech has taught me, like collaboration and just like being a good like team player.
Like being in tech taught me that to solve problems, you need other people's help because you can't just do everything on your own. It's definitely made me like more creative in the stuff I try because I have so much knowledge of different like tools, different ways to fix things.
A lot of tech is creative problem solving, and so you're always going to be using those skills, and then they're just going to get developed further throughout the shows you work and throughout the bonding experiences that you have when you come to tech.
Just enjoy every second of tech because it's super, super fun, and it goes really, really fast once you're sort of at the end of it. Looking back, it flies by, and it's a really, really fun experience, and you meet a lot of amazing people. So cherish it.
Okay. The next part of the video is going to be a clip from one of the senior one acts, and it was student directed.
Husband! I know. And I love you. I'm gonna call room service. What? You need a coffee? I don't want any coffee. Hello, room service? I don't want any coffee. Fine. Listen to me. We went for a drink, and I said to him, I love Irene, and you love Irene, and she's my wife. I told him, I can provide for her. What can he do? He can't take care of you, not like I can. You like the house, don't you? I do. So we drank, and then we just looked at each other for a long time, just quiet. And then I gave him $500. I know. I gave him $500. I said, here, take this, take the money, and go away and leave us alone forever. You should lie down. Will you lie down with me? No. Be with me. Let me hold you. Try to love me. Please. It'll be beautiful. Listen, I waited so. Listen to me. I waited for you to come back, to get back, so that I could say goodbye. What? I only waited to say goodbye. No, he's gone. He called while you were gone. He telephoned. I don't understand. I don't understand.
You can't cash that check.
What are you talking about?
He was looking for a way to end it, not to hurt you.
What do you
You
mean?
offered him money, so he took it, but he won't cash that
What
check.
are you talking about?
He offered to come here, and I said, no, I'll do it myself. My decision, I'll do it.
What are you talking?
I'm leaving.
No. No.
There are legal
you're
things to
not.
work out, of course.
No,
Papers.
you're not going anywhere. He's gone.
Say you understand.
I don't
It's
understand.
my fault, Martin. I know that. I was stupid.
You're going to stay.
I know what he is. And he's not sophisticated and he's not smart. I'm not even sure that he's kind. You said you think I made him up somehow. In my head. But now you see. In the cold light of day, you know what he is and I know what he is, but I have no idea why, but I love him.
He took the money.
I'm leaving.
You're my wife.
Say you understand.
I don't.
I'm leaving.
You will love me.
Please, Martin.
You will love me.
He's waiting.
You will.
Martin.
You will stay.
Please.
You're my wife, and you will
I
stay
can't. Don't
with
you
me.
see that?
And you will
can't make me feel something that I don't.
Yeah, so that's kind of some of the stuff that we do. So let's next slide. Okay, cool. Oh, next again? No. Okay.
One more.
Next again.
Basically, whenever.
There we go.
Okay. So some of the things that make LaGuardia really unique for us is the diverse student body. Like everyone comes from a very specific background from all over the city. So it's really special that like all these artists come here to create something so beautiful and like unison with all these different perspectives and different tools that they have coming into the LAG. So we're gonna introduce ourselves and and our different backgrounds and yeah, cool. So my name is Amanda. I'm a senior drama major. I started acting in middle school in my school's drama club as the Little Mermaid, and I had no professional acting experience before I came to the school, and now I'm here and I'm ready to enter the industry. I'm going to a BFA program in Boston. Some of the things like that a lot of other kids wouldn't have like that access to, and this is because it's a public school and we have all these resources. I was able to do that for free arts education, super cool. Something that makes LaGuardia very special to me is just being in a community of artists, especially from a young age, being able to like create and learn from each other and get some of the tools that a lot of kids wouldn't get until they entered college. So that's really interesting. And then Jiang's gonna talk about herself.
Hi, my name's Jiang. I'm a senior technical theater major. And since I was younger, I've been in arts, but not specifically for theater. And so when I applied to LaGuardia, I actually applied for visual arts. But when I came to the open house, I think I fell in love with the theater and I fell in love with all the shops that I saw. And it just seemed so immersive and hands-on. And I think what really drew me was when I spoke to all the students, they all seemed so in love with what they do and they are all so excited to tell everyone else. And that's what made me choose the school.
Yeah, it's something really interesting when kids who've never been in the arts before come here and all of a sudden like this is what they want to do for the rest of their lives. And me and Jiang, even though we didn't know each other before this year, now we're working on the same senior production where I'm acting in one of the plays that she's stage managing. So that's super fun. So we're gonna talk about the different aspects and curriculums of each department. So here are a few pictures. So for drama, you're getting a 4-year conservatory-like program that you would usually get in a professional BFA in your undergraduate study. And you have teachers from part of the industry or exposed to the industry that come and they teach you foundational techniques of acting. So that includes things like Meisner and movement and Chekhov and all these super cool things. And then throughout your 4 years, you get exposed, you have the opportunity to perform on main stage productions and also for your classmates. And then junior and senior year, I think that you get opportunities to direct and to obtain a lot of different skills like stage combat and juggling, something that we learn. Yeah. So Jiaying's gonna talk about tech.
Here's some more pictures. The technical theater program offers the students to dabble in many facets like scenery and props, stage management, sound, lighting, costumes, and design. And they really allow a lot of freedom for students to do whatever they like. Freshmen, they usually rotate through the 4 main shops that we have, which is scenery, props, lighting, and costumes. And as you enter into each new year, you would drop one, and then you end up with one concentration during your junior year. Students get the opportunity to work in all the shows that we put on in school, like the All School Musical or Rising Stars or many of the other shows that we do. And freshmen and sophomore are required to do the spring shows that we put on, which are the spring drama festivals, the opera.
And we'll talk about that more in the next slide, but yeah.
And the upperclassmen, the senior and the juniors, are required to do the All School Musical as well as some of the spring shows. But of course, we're not limited to that. We are also allowed to work on many of the other productions that we're interested in. And you're also allowed to go through different shops if, of course, you find that you want to explore more. They always allow that, and they allow a lot of freedom.
So here are some of our productions. Oh, yeah. So you want to
So Tech supports 6 main productions each year, which are the All School Musical, Rising Stars, opera, as well as 3 spring drama festivals. But we also do smaller things like concerts and dance shows, musicals, art shows, drama scenes, and also the one act that you saw at the beginning of the presentation. The All School Musical is one of our biggest productions at the beginning of the year, and it offers the opportunity for everyone in our school to audition for it and work on it, no matter what major you're in. And
yeah, and Rising Stars is kind of like this really big, highly produced talent show that we have, because imagine like you go to an art school and then it's also a talent show. I did Rising Stars in my freshman year, not knowing anybody, and I came into this like great community, and it's just, I feel like it's the best way to get to know people in your high school and make friends freshman year. Yeah, and then opera.
The opera is a show for the junior and senior vocal majors that are in the opera class, and it's just as highly produced as the All School Musical, and we actually just finished the opera this year, and we're loading out, so that's exciting.
Yeah, and then the end of the year we do our 3 spring drama festivals. They're directed by our senior drama teachers, and they're close to the drama department senior students. I'm doing that right now, and it's very cool. That's the thing that we're doing together, Midsummer Night's Dream. And something really cool about that as well is that you get exposed to a professional audition process. And then if you're a drama major and you don't want to act, you can also join the production team or join the set building or the design team. So that's something that's really cool. Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Very nice.
That was wonderful. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to now pass it over to Benjamin Schott and his music team.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ben, and I have some of our amazing music students here who are going to tell you a little bit about our instrumental music studio and our vocal music studio.
Hello, I'm Nadine, and I am a senior instrumental major at LaGuardia. I play the trumpet. I'm mainly focusing on jazz, but I play all the music that is given to me. I'm here to talk to you because I truly believe that going to a performing arts school was an invaluable experience. And I just want to share the student perspective. So I'm going to share my screen right now and share a video with you. One moment. Does that work for everyone? Okay, perfect.
One of my favorite memories is getting to play in a pit for stage productions. I was in Cinderella, and now I'm here for closing night for Pirates of Penzance because we almost sold out all tickets, and that has never happened before.
I see hours of dedication and practice that so many LaGuardia students put into their art and put into their work.
What I love most is probably, the people I play with.
I know that I'll remember the connections I've made here for a long time, and I'm truly grateful for my experience here at LaGuardia.
I started at LaGuardia. I had no idea that I would want to pursue music. Meeting the teachers that I met and learning from my peers has definitely showed me that showed me what I want to pursue and prepared me for college. So I'm very grateful to the instrumental department at LaGuardia.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So it's a type of environment where you definitely feel loved and appreciated. And I think that's really what schools need.
Every time I see a LaGuardia performance, I am extremely humbled and grateful to be part of the instrumental community.
Since I've been able to be a part of the music ensemble, senior band, senior orchestra, I feel as though I've been a part of so many different things because of how many different things we offer. I just love music, and I love the staff, and I love the people that I work with.
Music is something absolutely beautiful, and to be able to go to school in an environment where we're able to pursue that is something incredible.
Wait, let's stop share. Okay, but thank you. So that is the general student perspective. Just to sum that up, for me personally, going to a performing arts school really changed me, especially within the instrumental department. I've always been a creative person, but it really let me lean into that side of me and learn how to experiment inside and outside the classroom. Yes, I absolutely adore music, but I do not want to continue it on a conservatory level in college because I also really, really love academics. I'm still going to be in a bunch of pep bands. But I think what's really, to me, the most special thing about this experience is that being a musician at LaGuardia had made me a much, much better student. The discipline it takes to be a musician is so useful when it comes to the math world or the physics world or the STEM world. I know that you just told us that you're possibly considering combining the two. And I think going to a school with a dual mission is absolutely incredible. When I was going through the college process, I would meet with directors of music, and they knew that I am very strong in the math and physics area as well. I'm currently in AP Calc BC and AP Physics. And they always told me that their best musicians were always the ones that were in the engineering department. And even though they're not music majors, the people that are playing are the ones in the engineering department or the ones in other departments. And LaGuardia, just being a dual curriculum school, has just opened so many doors for me because before I went to LaGuardia, I kind of had this tunnel vision that I just had to really focus on academics and really shut myself in a room and just focus. And I've come to realize, and I'm honestly ashamed that I didn't realize this before, that being intelligent isn't as impressive, or it's equally as impressive as being really, really talented. And it's just as valuable to be an incredible musician as it is to be an incredible student. And I would sit next to my friends in music or jazz band, and I would constantly be inspired and in awe by how talented they were. And it was really the students around me that motivated me to practice more and become better. I know STEM environments tend to be really competitive, And that can be a downside to having like a STEM specific school. My sister went to a STEM school, but in music, you really do have to be collaborative. There's no room to be competitive because in order to be in a band, you have to work together. When I practice at home, yes, I'm practicing for myself to get better, but more importantly, I'm practicing so the band can sound better. And so that way we can perform a great concert. And really like those, I would have never came to those conclusions if I didn't go to performing arts school. And I'm grateful every day that I attended LaGuardia. I will always continue music because it's always been a great part of my life. And I really hope you consider setting up a performing arts school. I just also want to explain that it would not be possible to have a performing arts school without like the classrooms and having space for us to practice, because you can't just have a jazz band right next to a math classroom because that would be extremely distracting. So at our school, if you want to email us, we can tell you more about it. But we, like in the basement, there are like these 2 huge rooms, soundproof, so it doesn't disturb anything. But yeah, I'm very grateful for the experience. If you have any questions, please let me know. But I'm very happy I got to speak to you today. Thank you.
And here is
And
Robert.
hello, hi. My name is Robert Dakwar. I'm a senior vocal student here at LaGuardia, and I've also prepared for you guys a video today about kind of the student experience as a vocal major and just some reflections that some people have. So, share my screen here. And, yeah. All right.
Sorry.
Just echo
Apologies.
that.
One of my favorite parts of going to the school is the diverse curriculum that I'm able to get as a vocalist. I feel like it's really important to be versatile and explore all different types of genres and be able to sing all of them. And at LaGuardia, we get training in classical music, musical theater, and then we also branch out into like jazz and pop and all of that kind of stuff. And it really is so exciting to be able to explore all of those genres while also having a really strong base in classical music. So yeah.
One of my favorite things about this place is its teachers. Not only are they extremely passionate about what they do here, but they care so deeply for each and every one of us. And for that, I could not be any more grateful.
It's just a great feeling knowing that you're constantly surrounded by people who are just as passionate as you are, and just to be surrounded by so many amazing and talented people.
The studio has impacted my life in so many ways. Not only have I grown as a musician and performer during my time here, but I also made so many amazing friendships and bonds with teachers that I know I wouldn't have gotten if I went anywhere else.
And so, yeah, that's kind of the student perspective on the vocal department. And those last couple of clips are just some of the examples of some of our experiences here. And yeah, overall, just this being a vocal major at the school and just the vocal department in general gives off such a sense of community with all of the classes that you participate in. Like being able to develop your voice like along these 4 years in high school, along your friends, you really see others develop and they see how you develop. And it's just a really good dynamic. And you also get to encounter school traditions and you get to be involved in them as you gradually get older and older in the school. And some of those traditions of which you see have like our Fiorillo Friday, which is open to basically like any major, and mainly it's instrumental and vocal department. But in that Fiorillo Friday, in that last clip, we have our solo voice class, which is actually a college preparatory class, which is very helpful to many of the students that are in it. I know many of my friends who are choosing to pursue it and have found that class insanely helpful to them and has helped them prepare immensely for college. Also, we have, as you saw in some of our videos, the chorus rooms and some of the great vocal spaces that we have. We have several vocal rooms to practice, and all of them are soundproof, which is very helpful because on the vocal floor, we also have some academic classes going around. And it's also very helpful to have, we have pianos provided in every room for accompaniment. And it's just a very great resource to have if you need to practice. We also utilize those spaces a lot for practicing. And we have one choral room that seats about 80 people, I believe. And it's also insanely helpful to work in big spaces like that with a big group of people to prepare you for higher level courses and choirs like that. And yeah, just the sense of school traditions again is insanely valued in the school, and it helps to build such a great community of students. We have some of my favorite traditions that we have are like one of my classes that I'm in now, show choir. We have Christmas caroling or holiday caroling. We go around the school, we carol to classes, go around to classes and sing to them holiday songs. And it's really interesting and really fun to be a part of. And also we have the opera, like how was mentioned before. We have that every year, and it's amazing to see. I remember as a freshman, I would watch the opera and I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to even be a part of it. And now this year I was able to be a part of it. So it was such a great experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Thank you guys for hearing about the music, vocal and instrumental.
Thank you, guys. Well, that is it for our presentations today. So Grady, I guess I'll pass it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Heather. Thank you, everybody. That was amazing. I was already excited about the prospect of an art school, and now I'm like, this is awesome. And I love like some of what I heard there, like the technical theater program. There's clearly overlaps there, right? It's not just arts, there's also some STEM involved in that. You spoke to with music education, having that balance and also being able to focus on your studies on, in science courses. So I just really appreciate that perspective. And I know for our students, for our staff, for our families and community members, really seeing that come to life and being able to see a set design, being able to see what a show would look like and what a production would look like. These are really amazing things for us to be able to get a glimpse into as we consider an arts and or a STEM themed school. So with that, I'm going to ask the folks in our who are attending, folks who are participating, if you would like to share a question or a thought, now is a great time to do so. And just be thinking about what are the things that our presenter shared today that most excited or resonated with you. And then when we're thinking about George Wythe and what our own high school is going to look like when it's rebuilt, what do you see as maybe the best pathway for George Wythe? Are you leaning towards STEM? Are you leaning towards arts? And why? And so I'd love to just be able to hear from folks if you would like to throw it in the Q&A. Also, if you'd like to raise your hand, I can directly unmute you. And so please, we would love to hear any questions or thoughts that you all have. And as we're awaiting those, I will get us started and just see if our panelists, our student panelists, could share with us. Is there, as you all look beyond high school and at your next steps, I'm curious to hear more about what some of your career plans are. And for folks who, you know, if maybe you're not going directly into theater or directly into music, how your experience at LaGuardia will nevertheless impact you as you're going forward in your career. So I would love to open with that question, and again, invite other folks who are attending to please jump in with questions as well.
Okay, I guess we'll start. Do you want to start first? Okay. So yes, I'm Nadine again, instrumental major, definitely continuing music in college. And you guys seem to be really enthusiastic about the overlap between music and STEM. And I think my favorite class, second favorite class I've taken at LaGuardia was actually music theory, and being able to take it on a high level, which is the science of music. It's like a science class, but it's defined as a music class. And that really just got me thinking about how much I love the two areas. But my plan for college is I just committed to Georgetown, and I am enrolled in the undergraduate business school there. So I think I want to try to double major in music along with whatever business field I choose. I also want to kind of do the math side of business. Who knows, maybe I'll make a connection between business and music, like music business. I think that would be really exciting for me, just to see all like my passions combine. But yeah, you can go next.
Yeah, again, hi, I'm Robert, senior vocal major. And similar to Nadine, I definitely want to continue music in my life, definitely join some outside choirs, or maybe even do private coaching as a side career. But mainly I hope to pursue a career in neurology. And as that, I've actually been so interested in how that plays into music. And I actually was asked another question the other day, if I could teach any class, it would be probably the psychology of music, because the two just tie in together so much. And it's so interesting to hear. And I would learn about it a lot in my vocal classes here. And you would just hear a lot about how music impacts someone psychologically and also physically. And it's just, it's so interesting to me. So that's why I hope to pursue that. And yeah.
Yes, thank you for the question.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
We have a question that came in the Q&A that I'm going to share. So thank you, Elizabeth, is who it's from. She also wanted to thank all of the students from LaGuardia that are here right now, and that you all are very talented and clearly demonstrate the passion you have, which couldn't agree more. It's been really fun for, I think, everyone here to see this. So her question is, how much of the day is your interest area and how much of it is your traditional coursework?
Okay. So for us, I would say since the beginning of freshman year, especially if you do production after school, it feels like a very large amount, like part of your day. So it changes every year, but for senior year, we have drama classes at the end, and then we have rehearsals often running past like 6 p.m. And I think even though it's a lot, especially because we're so young, I think it teaches us like what Nadine and Robert were saying about like discipline and balancing our arts and what we love to do with the academics, which we also love to do, but putting enough time into both is something I think it's a good skill to have.
Tech has an AM block and a PM block. So in the AM block, we have the sophomores and freshmen working with the teachers, and in the PM block, we have the juniors and the seniors.
3 periods.
And they're both 3 periods in a row, and they're 45 minutes each for each period. And so it's, I don't know, like 3 hours-ish. And then after school, a lot of people would join productions, like Amanda said, and we would work after school, either in work calls or rehearsals. And so it's quite a big part of our day.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, for it's pretty similar as that. For vocal majors, it's the periods are pretty scattered out throughout the day. We have required at least, I believe, 3 periods of music per year, per grade. And one of those classes is usually a voice class. One of those is usually a chorus. Another one is an elective of your choice. But also for juniors and sophomores, music theory and music history are required. But in those voice classes, we have a large variety of electives, all of which are so interesting and immersive. We have senior chorus, we have many different courses that accept a variety of grades, and we have multiple selective classes as well.
Yeah, our school day goes from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon, because we have this dual curriculum where we have to focus on the arts and academics. And while, I mean, I'm used to it by now, but in the beginning, it was, I guess, hard to adjust to. But honestly, I wouldn't really want to be spending my time doing anything else. And I think that's what makes the LaGuardia experience so incredible, is because you can't just be in a music class learning music, collaborating with others, unless the people around you really are passionate about music. Music is just one of those things where you can't just push people in a classroom who don't want to do it and make them try to do it, which is why I really love that I'm able to study music at a performing arts school. It just seems unreal.
Thank you. I think that answers those questions perfectly. There is one more question that we just got, and I would like to share. It is from someone who's viewing our Spanish stream, and it was sent over. So George Wythe, the high school that we're talking about, currently has a very large number of students that speak Spanish. Does LaGuardia have arts or music classes that focus on Latinx writers or composers? Or does LaGuardia put on performances in other languages other than English? Like, what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, there's a lot of a variety in musical background of many of our songs and composers. Usually for the vocal department, when we first start learning music, it's in Italian, then we move to German, then French, then English, and then we move into like the musical theater and opera kind of pieces. And in our chorus classes, we really have a wide variety. I believe one of our all soprano alto choruses, cantare chorus, is currently doing a Spanish song right now, which is very, very cool and interesting. And yeah, we have from Latin to French to Italian and a wide variety of languages, which is really, really good discipline to have as well.
Yeah, in the jazz band right now, I know we're playing pieces by Tito Puente and Machito, which are great composers and musicians. And again, another thing I love about music is like it's a language of itself, so anyone can communicate through music and listen through music. So our community is not cut off that way. And I think I was in a Latin jazz ensemble freshman, sophomore, and junior year, which took place on Saturdays. It was through the All City band program, which was a great experience. I think I was talking to my jazz band teacher about possibly adding a Latin jazz band, but again, things get difficult with logistics, but that is how we try to incorporate it into the curriculum.
That's good. It sounds like there's a lot of room for it to be tailored, you know, specifically to George Wythe. And with your examples, it just feels like we could really expand on that to be more inclusive for our community. Thank you. I have one question, if I can. I just was wondering, because I didn't go, and I don't know anyone really who went to a school like this. And I'm just wondering if so having these classes that you are so interested in that are like your passions, does that make going to classes that you don't necessarily love like easier? So if there's a subject that's just like not your favorite, like does it make it a little better at least that you have these other classes that are like you're so into?
That's a great question. So the thing about lag is senior year, I feel like you get a lot more options and flexibility when it comes to choosing your classes. So before this, yes, it was like, okay, finally I get to go to drama and not be in, I don't want to name it okay. Sorry, Mr. Mack. I don't like history classes sometimes, just because whatever. Anyway, coming to drama and then you learn a lot about history, especially American history in drama. So you get a little bit of both. And yeah, it does make the day a lot better having something to look forward to. But this year I get to take classes like African American dramatic literature, which is something I really love and has to do with drama. And I still get that academic requirement. So
I think it just makes my day a lot better to be doing something other than just academics. And it really gets me up in the morning and I'm like, I finally get to go to school and do what I like to do. Yeah. But I mean, there's also classes that I enjoy, like calculus. Like I really like calculus, which is why I enjoy that class. But like Amanda said, you get a lot of flexibility in the classes that you choose, and you can always choose an academic. Yes,
I had something that. Sorry. That was our bell. Something too, like I think because we go to an art school, the teachers really promote mixing arts with academics. So I love science and my favorite class is environmental science. And my teacher, he goes about like promoting social justice issues and environmental issues through different art forms. So I appreciate things like that. And it does make it a lot easier to endure.
And yeah, being in an art school, the teachers also really understand when you have a conflict or when they know that you're working like long hours. So they'll always be more flexible on schoolwork and they'll be like, oh, do you need an extension? And they'll always give it to you. So yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody so much. I think those questions were wonderful. Appreciate our student panel for responding to them and giving your insights. I want to make sure that we're respectful of everyone's time. So as we get ready to close out, I am dropping in the chat box. I just dropped a survey. It is an online survey, should take about 5 minutes. And I would ask for everyone who's attending today's session to please open that survey. And right now, while we're closing out, go ahead and complete that. It will not take you very long, but this is the way that we make sure that the RPS school board and the administration and superintendent will all hear your thoughts, because this is truly the community's school, the New George With. And so please do complete that survey. And that will directly feed into the decision-making process for the New George With. I also am going to just invite everyone to attend an in-person engagement session next week. We have several opportunities next week, and then we will be building those out further going into the end of April and into May. But we do have a session, I think, every day, at least Monday through Thursday next week. So would certainly encourage everyone to check out that link that I just dropped in the chat. We'll have all of those dates and times. If someone in the audience is interested in potentially hosting a similar type of session or a live engagement session with your network, would also very much invite you to reach out to me directly. And so I'm going to drop my email address in the chat. We would love to come work with you if you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And there are people in my community center or in my church or in my civic association who should also have input on this. Please let me know. We will come to you and we will work with you to help develop and pull off that session. And then additionally, if anyone would like to give feedback directly to school board, there's a couple of ways to do that. You can come straight to a school board meeting. They're the first and third Monday of every month at 6:00 p.m. And you can check our website for details on where those will be held as well. I am also dropping in the chat right now in another email address. This is speakers@rvaschools.net. If you cannot make it to a live school board meeting, you know, that's tough for some folks. You can email your comments and thoughts directly to the school board right there. And Casey, thank you, because this week was spring break. Our next school board meeting is actually this coming Monday, April 11th at 6:00 p.m. So typically first and third.